Yeah, that's true. They have nothing. They have nothing. They too accept that they have nothing. They say they've got 2.1 tons, they have nothing. But I think the real issue is that this country is producing gold.
Right.
This country is producing gold for a long time, from 1980 to let's say 2018. We're producing about 9 tons of gold per year. But now the country is producing over 30 tons of gold, per year. But as we know, there is massive leakages of our gold. We saw this through the Al Jazeera documentary on the gold mafia. I think that was just a tip of the iceberg.
Right.
I think that was just a tip of the iceberg. Some experts actually say that 70% of the gold being refined at Rand Gold Refinery in South Africa is actually coming from Zimbabwe. It's actually coming from Zimbabwe. So there is so much leakage such that the gold that is being formally accounted for is not reflective of the gold. I would like to submit that, and there's some evidence to show that gold of at least $1 billion is leaking across Beitbridge border post alone every year. We saw the other day a lady smuggling gold bars at the Harare International Airport. If you've got the audacity of actually doing that in open broad daylight, can you imagine now what is happening to those little aeroplanes that we now see parked literally permanently at Robert Mugabe International Airport? So I would like to believe that our gold and our precious minerals, particularly diamonds and gold and lithium, are the subject of illicit financial flows. Some experts, estimate that we lose about $3 billion in illicit financial flows per year. I would like to think that it's much more than that. I saw the other day the Minister of Mines, Honorable Jemu, saying that we earned $20 billion from minerals alone in 2023. I don't think it's true, but if it's true, we have nothing to show for it.
Right.
Look at the state of our hospitals. We hardly have any cancer machine in our hospitals, any radiotherapy machine in our hospitals. Look at the state of our roads. Look at the state of the energy sector. We have nothing to show for this because of the huge illicit financial flows and the huge theft of our minerals that is taking place in Zimbabwe. Look at how they've refused to ensure that there's value addition of lithium in Zimbabwe, of platinum in Zimbabwe. 44 years after independence, we still don't have a platinum refinery in Zimbabwe, and notwithstanding the fact that platinum as a metal can actually be refined in an adjusted Bindura nickel refinery, nobody wants to use it. So we are losing billions of dollars as a country through illicit financial flows.
Right, Honorable Biti, if I'm to ask, with all these problems that you've highlighted and they are very visible to every Zimbabwean, what is the actual solution that needs to be implemented? And do you think there is that political will for that to happen?
I'll go into the economics, right. The technical economics.
Yes.
But I want to tell you that without fixing the politics, the country, nothing will change. So it is the politics. We have to fix the politics. There has to be constitutional change of government in this country. Put it simply, ZANU-PF must go, because ZANU-PF is at the center of the economic malaise, the economic capture, the economic hubris that has been arresting this country since 1980. So the simple panacea to Zimbabwe's structural crisis of 5 decades is democracy, democracy, democracy.
Right.
So beyond that now, let me come to the economics, because that is what you want to hear.
Yes.
I would like to respectfully submit that we need to urgently address the economic vitals of the country, in particular the exchange rate fiasco and currency reform and the issue of inflation. So in that regard, the immediate short-term solution with all its challenges is that we need to dollarize. We need to simply dollarize, pay civil servants in US dollars. We are receiving a lot of money as US dollars. Mm-hmm. So 2023, we received almost 11 billion US dollars.
Just last year?
Last year, $11 billion. About $6 billion came from exports. Right. That's a lot of money. Diaspora remittances were almost 1.8, almost $2 billion. $2 billion dollars. Then overseas development assistance, including money channeled through NGOs, another chunk. All in all, 11 billion US dollars. So we've got sufficient money to actually finance in the short term US dollar circulation. Number two, we should simply have stuck with the Zimbabwean dollar, maintain the Zimbabwean dollar. But what was critical were 3 things. The first is to scrap in their interim export surrender requirements. They create distortions. You and I know that they create distortions. Number 2, scrap the auction system completely. Number 3, float that Zimbabwean dollar. Float that Zimbabwean dollar. Why do you need the Zimbabwean dollar? You need the Zimbabwean dollar for domestic, currency. Why do you need the Zimbabwean dollar? You need the Zimbabwean dollar because the Zimbabwean dollar has been an instrument of arbitrage. So the Zimbabwean dollar was used to steal on the action flow from June of 2019. So dealers were using the RTGS to steal the US dollar. So you don't want to reward them. So you don't want to demonetize the Zimbabwean dollar so that you reward these fatty tsotsis, the Scott Sakupwanyas of this world, to name a few, and others who are going around donating motor vehicles as if motor vehicles are confetti. So that's why you don't want to demonetize the Zimbabwean dollar, but you float it, and of course you restrain its control. Number 3, and this is very key. This is very key. You need to restore the savings bank in Zimbabwe. How can Zimbabwe expect to survive when there are no savings in Zimbabwe? I noticed in the monetary policy statement that interest rates have been reduced to 20% from 130%, but savings rates are being kept at 7%. So John Part 2, like John Part 1, has absolutely no appreciation of the importance of savings. A developing country like Zimbabwe requires savings that are at least 25% of GDP. China, the world's second largest economy, has got savings that are at least 50% of GDP. The ordinary average Zimbabwean needs to be able to put money in a bank, and that money has to have a return. So you need the structural reform of the banking sector. The banking sector is making super profits. The average bank is making profits of 180 million US dollars from non-interest income. Therefore, our banking sector is structurally flawed. There has to be reform of the banking sector so that we have savings, and a bank exists to save clients. If you open a bank account, they will follow you 3 months later and say, "Yo, there's no money in your bank account," notwithstanding that you have a problem. That is why appointing a banker, a central bank, to address his own problem, it's a problem. Because a mosquito can never cure, malaria. It doesn't happen. It won't happen. The Zimbabwean banking sector requires structural reform. It's miscued, it's misaligned, and it's not operating like a bank. It's become a predatory institution.